Welcome back to LT Gaming everyone, my name is Tom and today we're doing something a little bit different for you. We know we spend most of the year absolutely ruining your wallet, so this is us giving back. We're looking at a list of free games that we genuinely love here at LT Gaming. We're going to keep it cross-genre as well, so this should be something for everyone. So a fun fact before we kick off, a huge amount of you are unsubscribed to the channel. So if you do find something from this content, consider dropping a like on the video, it helps us get out there. Subscribe if you want more gaming content in general, and basically just have a bloody great day. Alright, let's get into it. Mindustry is a brilliant mix of factory building, tower defense and real-time strategy, and it's one of those games that will quietly eat your evening up. It's free on itch.io and sits at 95% overwhelmingly positive on Steam, so it's really earned its reputation. If you do like optimization under pressure, get this one on your radar. Endless Sky is one of the two free games that genuinely saved me as a broke student with what can only be described as a potato for a laptop. It is a top-down space sandbox where you trade, fight, explore, and slowly carve out your life among the stars. The big appeal for me is just how much freedom and depth it gives you for absolutely nothing, and it runs beautifully on low-end hardware as well. So if you like an open-ended space game with your own story as you go, this one is an easy recommendation. FreeOrion is a proper old-school space 4X for people who want to build an empire, manage planets, research ridiculous tech, and slowly become a galactic nuisance. And it's very much in the classic Master of Orion lane, obviously, but it's free and packed with enough systems to really get your teeth into. The appeal for this one is sheer scale and depth. It's one for the spreadsheet brain space strategy crowd, so if you want thoughtful turn-based empire building and you don't mind a slightly more classic feel, this is worth a look for you. FreeCiv is about as close as you can get to that classic just one more turn civilization builder loop without spending a penny. So you build a nation from humble beginnings, pushing science, expanding your borders, and inevitably upsetting all your neighbours along the way. I find this one really appealing because I'm a massive fan of Civilization II and it really channels that energy. If you like empire building and all that jazz and the Civilization vibe, you will enjoy this game. BoardLand is a clever little turn-based strategy game where dice rolls decide how you move, act and build out your board. You upgrade tiles, adapt your plan on the fly, and try to deal with monsters without the whole thing going sideways. Obviously it's free, it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, so it's a cracking pick for anyone who wants some tactical puzzle flavoured strategy. SOVL Fantasy Warfare is a free fantasy war game built around the classic tabletop style of battles, but you play it digitally on Steam. So you move your units, you trade volleys, you hurl a spell or two, and you try to outmaneuver the other side, rather than just mindlessly rushing forward. What really makes it stand out to me is the procedural roguelike campaign, custom army building, AI battles and online multiplayer. There is a ton of paid DLC if you fancy it, but the free package is very worthwhile, and I think a ton of LT gamers will resonate with this one. Vedelem the Golden Horde is a free medieval RTS about building, defending and surviving against a brutal Mongol invasion. You're managing your economy, expanding your castle and trying to hold out through big defensive battles both in skirmish and endless modes, and it has a very nice survival flavour to it. It's very positive on Steam and I actually believe this was a project for a bunch of students and this was their submission, so kudos to them, they did a fantastic job. Loria is a free fantasy RTS that wears its old school inspiration proudly. You got classic base building, hero units and a bit of RPG flavour mixed in. It has 2 races, 2 campaigns, skirmish mode and very positive reviews on Steam. So it isn't just nostalgia bait, there is a proper game here. If you like the classic Warcraft style energy, you're going to have a lot of fun with this one. Planet S is a free sci-fi strategy game that blends city building with multi-planet colonization, so you're not just managing one settlement but an entire little solar system. You start with a ship, you claim new worlds, you build up production chains, and then you slowly turn a handful of colonies into a functioning interplanetary economy. If you like city builders, colony management and the idea of slowly spreading your civilization across multiple planets, this one really is an easy recommendation from me. War Selection is a free RTS definitely going after that Empire Earth energy. So you begin in the Stone Age and you fight your way through 7 eras into full industrial warfare. You got the base building, resource gathering, huge multiplayer battles, and a good sense of civilization evolving as the match goes on. It's very positive on Steam, and it's a cracking shout for anyone who likes large-scale strategy with some historical bits thrown in. Bitburner is one of the most unusual free games on this list. A cyberpunk hacking sim where you write JavaScript scripts to automate progression, crack systems, and steadily become a proper digital gremlin. So it's a programming based incremental RPG, and I don't even really know what that means, to be honest. What I do know is that you don't need a coding background to play the game, and if you like the idea of something that's clever and a little bit criminal at the same time, this is a cracking shout and something so unique in the gaming world today. Age of Empires III Definitive Edition needs no intro. It's a cracking free entry point into one of the most established RTS series around, with base building, economic play, civilization bonuses, and just that classic Age of Empires flow. The only caveat with this one is it is the trial edition, so it has rotating civs and limited content versus the full game. But even so, there's plenty here to enjoy and a great way to try the game before you buy it. Crusader Kings II needs no introduction. It's a free medieval grand strategy game all about building a dynasty, holding your realm together and watching all your plans collapse because your family can't behave itself, just like real life. It's got huge depth, brilliant emergent stories, and more scheming than any one person can handle. But just bear in mind, this is the base game, it is free, a lot of the extras and good stuff live in DLCs, so try out the base game and see if that is for you. Warzone 2100 is a proper old school RTS with a bit more going on under the bonnet than the usual base builder. It's a free open source 3D strategy game with a full single player campaign, skirmish mode, online multiplayer, huge tech tree, and a genuinely brilliant unit designer that lets you customize your forces rather than just mass produce the same thing every match. Now, for a game that originally came out in 1999, I gotta say the community has done wonders with it, and it is a cracking RTS title that you can play for free. OpenTTD is one of the all-time great management games, whether it's free or not. A transport and business sim where you build railways, roads, shipping routes and air networks, then you try to turn the whole thing into a money printing empire. It's an open source remake and expansion of Transport Tycoon Deluxe, and it's still actively updated. What makes this one stand out is you start out by linking up a few towns and just playing around. Before long, you're suddenly redesigning junctions like a sleep-deprived rail minister because one coal line has ruined your entire evening. It sits at overwhelmingly positive on Steam, which tells its own story as well. It's just fantastic. 0K is a free open source RTS with very strong total annihilation and supreme commander energy, but with its own wonderfully chaotic identity. It gives you over 100 plus unique units, terrain manipulation, and a big campaign you can play solo or in co-op. What makes it stand out with this one is the sheer freedom. You don't just build a tank and hope for the best, you reshape terrain using weird specialist units and start pulling off all sorts of nonsense that makes an RTS game memorable. It's one of those rare free games that is actually completely really free as well. There's no in-game currency, no pay to win nonsense. OpenRA is one of the best free RTS projects out there, a modern rebuild of Red Alert, Command & Conquer and Doom 2000 that really keep the old school flavour alive, but smooths off a lot of the ancient rough edges that really detract from things. It adds things like attack move, unit veterancy, fog of war, online play, mods and custom maps. So it feels very playable in 2026, and it's not just wrestling with nostalgia on its own. If you want the classic RTS vibe for free, and you want it to feel right on a modern machine, this is an absolute belter. Now, Battle for Wesnoth was the other free game that genuinely saved me as a student back when money was tight and my laptop was built from potatoes. It's a free open source turn-based fantasy strategy game with loads of solo campaigns, dozens of multiplayer maps, and a ridiculous amount of replay value for something that costs absolutely nothing. What really makes it stand out is the lovely old school tactical feel. You have careful positioning, unit leveling, terrain bonuses, and the constant risk that one bad move turns your clever plan into a funeral procession. This game is ever evolving because of the fantastic community, and it sits at 94% rating on Steam, which tells you everything you need to know. If you like turn-based strategy, go play this game. Beyond All Reason is one of the easiest recommendations on this entire list if you love a big old school RTS spectacle. It's a free alpha that's built around epic scale battles, full real-time simulation for units and projectiles, terrain deformation, and fights that can grow into the armies of thousands. The two major things that make this stand out is the scale and then the freedom it gives you. You've got two main factions, loads of unit classes, huge maps where terrain is going to matter in the fights, and that brilliant Total Annihilation Supreme Commander flavour where one match turns into absolute industrial carnage. It's being actively updated and it will come to Steam sooner or later. Pick it up. Starcraft II and the original Starcraft are both ridiculously easy recommendations if you've somehow never dug into this series. Starcraft II gives you the polished modern RTS variant, with large parts of the single player campaign being free and the multiplayer as well, so you can give it a shot before buying any of the extra campaigns. The original Starcraft and Brood War are also free if you want to go back to one of the genre's true greats. Between them, you've basically got a crash course in why Blizzard RTS games defined the genre for so many years for so many of us, before obviously becoming what they became today. Regardless of all that jazz, you should definitely check out the Starcraft series if you for some reason haven't played it. A few quick honourable mentions before we wrap things up. Star Siege Tribes is still one of the best online shooters ever made in my book, and we actually do play it through the LT Gaming Discord, so if you fancy jumping in, come join us. That being said, without friends or a group ready to go, it can feel a bit dead these days. FreeCol is another game that I do have a soft spot for, being that the original Colonization is one of my favourite games of all time. However, they do have a bit of a community problem. They have a Discord mod who is very toxic and gatekeeping, and it doesn't exactly help the game grow, so I think it's a shame because there is something worthwhile there, so stay tuned maybe. Then there is FreeCiv, which honestly looks brilliant. I just haven't spent enough time with it yet to properly put my name behind it for the main list, but it's absolutely one I want to dig more into. Alright, that will do it for today guys. If I missed a game that you really like, that's free of course, drop it in the comments. Feel free to like the video, and of course subscribe if you want to join the LT Gaming family. Alright, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.